Tisserand is kind of the leader in the essential oil market in the UK. First of all, obviously the kind of shift to digital. So we have always traditionally had a mix of retailers, whether it's digital, non-digital. So companies like Boots, Waitrose, Holland and Barrett are very key for us in terms of bricks and mortar stores. So they have really kind of continued through that. We've been very lucky in that only probably one or two chains that we've been working with were forced to close through this pandemic. We're not exposed to fast fashion or anything like that. We're very much focused on pharmacy, health food store, general grocers. So because of that, they've all tended to stay open. However, we've sort of seen that shift to digital buying even within that, and even within sort of companies like Boots, they've had to dedicate more space to medical equipment and medical supplies. So we've lost shelf space because of that, which is completely understandable. So we have seen a kind of dip with customers like that. I think it's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, I really, really think it's been an excellent tool. I think everyone in my cohort would say the same thing. I think it's really kind of expressed and shown that people in kind of leadership positions generally are quite lonely, because you have all of these problems. They tend to be all on your shoulders, and in the majority of cases, you don't have someone that you can genuinely share these things with in a very open forum, like we do in the BEIS program. So I think it's been very good for that, because we all do suffer from very similar problems, whether it's kind of HR, legal, finance, admin, and having that group network there has been excellent for us to be able to share those things and learn from each other. I think personally, it's meant that I've ended up far more relaxed about some of these things, knowing that other people are going through them, and they're also fighting the same battles in different ways, in different levels and so on, but they are at the core exactly the same thing. And not really kind of beat myself up about it. Is this a failure of my management? Is this a failure of whatever? And the answer generally is no, it's not. These are just things which every single person is, and you're trying to find the best practice to try and take those forward. And you do you do try different things to try and make that work, and knowing that other people have done them, and learning on how they've how they've done it successfully has been really good. The impact of the program has been taking some of those learnings and applying them internally. So for example, I can pick out maybe 2 or 3 things on the HR front that we've done on that, in terms of, for example, introducing new incentives to make people, whether it's, I think one of them talked about a game changer award scheme and so on. Putting in those sort of tangible incentives have definitely been things that that have worked for the business, because they're there, they're visible for people to see, and they are kind of cash rewards. I think it's definite confidence. I think that would be the one word that I would use, is that you've got that confidence to go about those things, because you've also got that, you can talk about the 3 or 4 things now that you're doing on your weekly program. What's happening, on your check-in sessions, what's happening, what are you doing in the business, and being very open about what we're doing in the business, knowing it's in that confidential setting and so on, and then just having that check-in to go and say that, which is very different to the sort of check-in I'd have with my, with the board or anything like that. The board topics are very different to that sort of. It's almost it's quite functional in a way. Maybe about a year ago, and we're on one of these one of the BEIS scheme calls and so on. And one of the guys, just like I was talking, and just interrupt me, said, "Go take some time off." and it was great, because it's actually you kind of needed that kick, and and it was absolutely that it's you know that you end up it's they end up becoming more like friends. You know, someone you can really kind of relate to, and it was brilliant because I did do that. You know, I then said, look, I try to and you know, own worst enemy, growth and everything, and of course with pandemic you can't really go anywhere and so on. But you know, I did take two days off, and next time I checked in, I was like, I really kind of needed you to tell me that, you know, so I think honestly the stress levels that we carry, because you end up you know in this sort of position, you are responsible for every other person in the organization, and you do take you know you do say that person's mortgage, that person's kid, that person's for everything else. It all ends up becoming part of your, you know, what you're trying to do, directly or indirectly. So I think you know, without that, I think without that support, I wouldn't have been able to, I think, prioritize everything as well as I could. Um, Really kind of make some of the changes in the business to allow that to continue to happen. Um, uh, and so I think I'd still be probably um, maybe I wouldn't quite say focusing on the small things, but there'd definitely be more small things on the list in terms of how to do it. So I think with the program, I think going ahead, it's just continual improvement across all areas of the business. And we might pick another area of the business, which might be, I don't know, digital or something like that, where, you know, maybe the things that need to be done. So I think continue to grow, continue to provide the jobs, continue and so on. On that is very much same path as what we're on at the moment.